Welcome to Falcon Blues TV. I'm here with Callum. Fucking hell, mate, I'm glad I just had to wear the jacket in here. It's freezing.
It's cold, isn't it?
Paul's cried off again.
Okay,
well then, mate, yeah. I'm joking. So we're just going to talk tactics. We're going to talk about the Newcastle game, which was, in general, quite possibly the game of two halves for Everton.
Totally was.
You know, the game of 60 minutes and a capitulation in the last 30. You know. Yeah. Started off so bright. Probably the best football we've played in fucking ages. Yeah. You know, save for the last two, the derby and whatever. But away from home, probably the best football I've seen us play all season.
Yeah, easily. Probably even better than probably the Burnley game in terms of the link-up play and stuff, and how quickly we played. You know, it was great, wasn't it? But you know, I think that was, we'll come on to it. But there was a reason behind why we played better, I think, as well and stuff. But yeah, it was gutted, wasn't it? It was just getting beat there, conceding 3 goals in the second half. It just couldn't believe it. It just
sums up Everton as like 2-0 is not a healthy lead.
No.
For Everton in general, and it's a pain in the arse to keep seeing this. I mean, it's obviously God knows how long since we've actually lost from a 2-0 lead. Yeah. But it was just so demoralising, such a kick in the arse. And then you look at everything where it's gone wrong. You know, everyone picks out Pickford as the main talking point, really, because of his, the way he was with the crowd. Similar scenario in the derby. You know, he's playing up to the crowd, he's playing up to them and getting them wound up. But play your own games as well. Yeah. Win your own battle as well.
I think you do what you want, but just make sure that the 90 minutes have gone, because when you start doing it in the game, that's when it starts coming back to bite you massively. And to be fair, he made some top draw save when you look back at the game. But at the same time, he lets the occasion get to him too much. And you know, he played for Sunderland, Newcastle. Sunderland got like a massive rivalry, but at the end of the day, you can't let that get into his head.
Yeah, Everton, Newcastle haven't, and that's what it should be about. It shouldn't be the fact that he's a local lad he's playing for Everton now. Yeah, you know, he's got to get that through his defo. Also, just sheer arrogance as well during the game. That where you come back to it on when he made a couple of great saves. There's also saves there he shouldn't have had to make, like the penalty save. Yeah. And you know, we all know where that led to, and you know, he could have been sent off. We went up the other end and scored, and we were very, very, very lucky. And he was very lucky as well in that first half, because I thought we could have easily been down to 10.
Could have been sent off, yeah.
But you're going to run it through for us, mate. And so, as usual, put all these on screen as we're going along. Next time we do this, it's going to be a lot better. We're going to have a big screen and everything. Callum's going to have the laser pointed and everything. It'll be fucking magic, honestly. No one else has got anything like this, trust us. So let's start then, mate. So first half.
This is going on now to the second half. I just want to pick up one point. So we're winning 2-0. We come to second half, and Newcastle is still in a 5-4-1 formation. That's how they set up. So Everton's press throughout was quite aggressive, more so in the first half, and statistics show that in the second half, especially after this period, right around 60 minutes, it really dropped off in terms of the intensity. There's a metric that you can use which gathers information on how aggressive your press is throughout the game, and it gives you a percentage.
Right.
The lower the better. And throughout it hovered around the 6s and 7s. But in the second half, our average was only 14 compared to the first half of 7, and at one point in the game it dropped off to 21. So it gauges your press going on in terms of the pitch, but also how many passes the opposition make before a challenge goes in.
In terms of how high you're out,
it counts actions between them having the ball and you making a challenge,
right? Okay.
Type thing. So if you're pressing really aggressively and they're only getting 2 or 3 passes and you win the ball, that counts as your intensity press. So yeah, in terms of statistics it dropped off, but this is the start, how aggressive it is. So we sort of had a 4-man press. What it was, we had our wide player Richarlison, obviously plays in behind, out of screen here. Once the ball goes wide, he arcs his run to show him inside into here. Calvert-Lewin drops off with a good angles and distance, preventing the ball inside. And then as it goes a square pass, Sigurdsson then presses, and we do the same this side. So we're sort of stopping them playing into these full back areas, and we can't play through us because we've got Calvert-Lewin and Sigurdsson, similar to the Liverpool setup, but we're a lot higher now with these wide players. So this is something that we really worked on, and we stopped them playing out from the back with it, and it was quality and it worked. But as the game went on, we'll go on to it in a second, they sort of changed and we changed as well. I've done a preview which goes on to the next one now of the Newcastle game, and things like that me as a looking from the outset of problems that we could face throughout the game, before the game. This is against Burnley. They won the game 2-0. And my concern was Rondon and Fabian Schär, and the other one, Lejeune, is the other centre back. And they're quite a direct team. They're not great at playing through the thirds. They're not like, you know, it's a Spurs or you know, even like a Huddersfield of old trying to play through. They go direct, and this is an area where I thought would be a problem, would cause Everton's problems, especially with Rondon, with the amount of aerial duels that he had in that game, 18. So all around your 6-yard box on the halfway line, and he's only won 5 out of 18 there. But at the same time, them loose balls that go down, it's them ones, if they pick them up, then they can attack. And this is something that I highlighted, that was a real point for us, where we had to stop these long balls from in here to in here, because these long balls from there into there, they can bypass 4 or 5 of your players straight away. So if you're not set up defensively and your unit isn't compact and you don't restrict the space in here, this is when you've got problems with the loose balls dropping in, and your midfielder's not dropping deep enough to then go and win the ball. And that was my issue before the game that we'd maybe have a problem with, and it was all more about how Silva would look at that and how he'd prevent it. Okay, so from that, there you go, prime example. Ball from the back. This is the thing that Lejeune at the time. So I've highlighted loads of stuff in here. So the first one is the back four. I've highlighted these in yellow. Okay, so you've got Digne, Zuma, Keane and Kenny. So back four. The game's 2-0. Okay, and this is around, I think, the 56 minutes, something like that, is it? So what happens now, we're starting to drop off a lot more now. So you've got Sigurdsson and Calvert-Lewin, who sometimes work as a two together, but in this instance they dropped off and they've allowed the ball go into here, not like the previous one. So it goes in, there's no pressure on the ball in here, which allows them to play long. Now normally when there's no pressure on the ball high up here, your defensive line sort of needs to drop to account for a long ball. They don't, and they stay high. And now what happens, the ball travels and it goes over our back line, and once that happens you've got problems. Because now you've got Keane, who can't really run, he's not quick, and you've got John Joe Kenny in there. But what they started to do,
well, I'm assuming that's Rondon there. He's already making that run.
He knows exactly what's happened. And the trigger for that movement is his pass into here. And as the tactics from Benitez was to put these two under pressure. He's not gone for Digne and Zuma because they're the better players. So he said, okay, once that ball goes in, we're going to make it a 2v2 now. Push this player up on the line with Rondon to really support him, which in the first half it was non-existent, he was all alone. So now you've got a 2v2 and we bypass all our players and play into this area because our line's too high. So as it goes in, it goes over, and then we all know what happens then. This is the close call where he's came out. It's now a 1v1. The ball goes through and Rondon should score really, and he misses. And that was like the first real sign of that long ball going over.
It's going to be easy to do.
But when there's no pressure on the ball, it allows the centre backs to get it, look up and then really play it. And that was an issue. But this was the early warning signs for Everton in terms of we need to stop it. So that was it. And this is the key change now. This is Rafa Benitez, tactician. So 5-4-1 is the playing. First half was easy for us because you've only got one up top. These two sort of stay back in a 4 and the 5 in there. So our centre backs were allowed to circulate the ball from left to right and then try and play through, which we did. We had Digne on the left hand side giving us the width, and Bernard played in these little pockets in here with Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison tucked in with Sigurdsson to penetrate these three. So we played really easy with no pressure on the back line. We could circulate and play through. 4v1 it was on this back line. So they've changed now on 62 minutes to a 4-4-2. Richie goes out wide right, but eventually comes off for Kennedy, and then later on the 79, Shelby comes on for Key, who then they score 2 goals in 5 minutes of Shelby coming on. He was a game changer. So they went to 4-4-2. So you can see now they've got Perez, they moved them up from the side, up top to Rondon, to occupy now our centre backs and really cause them problems, go man for man. And that was the key change for Rafa Benitez, and the change that we didn't adapt to well. If you go, go on, ask anything on that. Ask anything on it.
I'm still just frustrated from it. You know what I mean? It's like when you start picking it out, you just think, fucking, how easy was that?
Yeah.
You know, how easy is that to stifle? You know what I mean? And just work against it, because it just seems like he didn't change anything really. It was like the subs frustrated him. Just the changes, the management of the match itself just didn't work.
No, I totally agree. And these are the minutes from here now, 62. This is where the game sort of changes, and just before that as well. So changing this now, they start to cause a lot more problems. So this is the first goal. We're actually in possession of the ball. They've taken a corner, and we broke. So you've got the back four here with Digne back four. And then you've got Calvert-Lewin, Sigurdsson, Gomez, Richarlison. Garnagay is our highest player. Now the problem with this is all these players start to run forward to try and do a counter attack, but these 4 players sort of don't go at the same pace and sort of don't close the space up, so there's space occurs. So Bernard travels down. Now you look at the movement of these players, they're all going forward. So what the problem is now, there's no support behind the ball. So in option 1 and 2, I've highlighted these as positions that these players should take up. So Gomez in here, his movement should be across, and Digne movement should be here.
Coming in behind.
Yeah, to support behind the ball, because in the second he's going to run into traffic and he's going to run into an overload. Okay, by coming in here, 1, he's closing the space, and 2, he's going to offer support behind the ball for Bernard to come back out. Gomez coming in here would then again provide cover in these areas in the wide, because that's where the ball is. Instead he goes straight. So you think of this space now in here is going to be really occupied, because all of the players are going forward. Obviously Richarlison will, because he's a forward as well, and he sort of stays. But these are the movements that, for me, if they would have done that, then this goal probably wouldn't have occurred.
Again, easy mistakes. Easy mistakes that you can cut out.
And the thing is, it's 2-0, and you're saying about going to finish the game,
and we're trying to get up the pitch as fast as we can when it's not needed. It's not been needed at all.
So we sort of but it's this back four which kills us as well. But this space in the second is going to come free. So as you go into the second one now, Bernard runs into traffic. He runs in, he tries to play through to Richarlison, and you lose the ball. That's probably where Gomez would have been if he would have come support behind the ball. So he would have been straighter, and he would have been able to close it down from this angle to stop that ball in there. Sigurdsson again has gone too high. So now they've intercepted, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players, 6 players out of the game, because Gomez can't recover. All because we've decided to try and play into an overload, and we've lost it, whereas it should have came back out, gone back into potentially Gomez, then it goes to Sigurdsson, and we get out the other side. So we've gone to play in an overload and we've lost the ball. But now we've got no defensive cover because of our 5 players, and look where Garnagay is. These are our 2 holding midfielders.
You know.
So, you know, that's where the problems occur, but these are the positions that they should have been. But look at the space now that's created in here now, because Gomez is going to get dragged out.
And that's exactly what happened. Everton, what he is doing to us.
So now that ball has gone long, and there was a header, wasn't there? And it's gone down now into Rondon. Gomez now can't recover, and what you've got is, I think there's an earlier one actually. Is there another one on this one? Have we gone past it? Go next one. I can go forward, sorry. Forward. No, go back, it's okay. Yeah. So
professionals.
Yeah. So it's gone in here. Zuma stands him up. You've got Keane in here with Perez, and you've got John Joe Kenny with Digne recovering. So in here, if you want to count these players, it's 6 against 2. You've got 1 player to mark. Okay, I'm going to highlight in here John Joe Kenny because he's massively important in this now. We look at Gomez now of where he was, and probably, you know, in terms of if he would have been in the position earlier, this scenario wouldn't have occurred if been out with the turn back. So John Joe Kenny now, this is a massive thing for me because as he plays the ball in now to Perez, it's going to be a 1v1 versus Keane. Okay, but watch now. Watch John Joe Kenny as it goes on to the next one. So he gets slid in, Keane stands him up, Digne recovers, Sigurdsson comes in, and Zuma now comes across. John Joe Kenny now, he's still attracted to the ball. He doesn't need to be attracted to the ball. He doesn't need to be attracted to the ball because you've got Keane standing them up, you've got Sigurdsson recovering, and now Zuma, and he's facing. Rondon just played the ball in. All Kenny has to do now, he can't score. The only other player who can score is Rondon, and his body shape is all wrong because he's too square, he's too flat, and he's occupied with this. Whereas if he turns his body open, once that ball is played, he can see Rondon and he can track his run.
Yeah.
And now his position's all wrong. He's 2 or 3 yards away. He can't track him. The ball now is going to go in behind to the space as it shows.
But this has literally become, as you're saying, the 6v2. It's now 5v1.
Yeah.
Just unnecessary, silly mistakes.
And now with that run, it's too late. Kenny can't get there because his body shape's all wrong. He hasn't gone to track him, and he scored. It's just so many errors. It's just unbelievable from one player on the edge of the box and Perez with 2 players. Once he's given that, just go with the runner. And we haven't done that, and it's allowed him straight back into the game 2-1. It's unlucky because he sort of nearly gets there, deflects, and it goes in. But you know, it's fine margins.
You can cut it out.
I think if, no disrespect, I think if that's Coleman defending, that probably doesn't happen.
No.
But it's that split 2 or 3 seconds. Your body's in the wrong position. You can't react quick enough, and Rondon's a decent player, and he's got there and finished, and that allowed him back in the game.
Yeah. 2-1.
So you were saying, sorry, the battery went out in the camera. Right, so this is the point where it all went to rat shit for Everton, even more. But this is probably the bit that epitomises everything.
Yeah, massively so. So we were playing 4-2-3-1 up until this point, and we changed it, didn't we? Far at the back. So that's what we've done. So it's a difficult one because as a manager you think, okay, they're on top, what can we do? We'll put 5 at the back to give more stability.
You normally think of when you play 5 at the back, that's it, no one's getting through that.
Yeah. Well, what happens,
this is Everton.
Well, what happens is, we said before about the first part of the second half where Everton got mechanisms to press and go and press the ball, and that's where the problems are coming from the back, when you're playing long balls. The problem you've got now, you've got 1 up top, so how are you going to press? What's your press going to look like? Everton didn't, for me, have one. So this allowed them now to have 2v1s at the back, and again carry the ball out even further before they got engaged. So it didn't work because the problems are down this end of stopping that long ball. We've shoehorned Sigurdsson now in here and pushed him to the right side of midfield to a 4, and obviously you've got Maynard who's came in for Richarlison. So this is where for Everton now a massive, 8-9 minutes that totally go wrong in terms of our shape, our pressing ability, and our ability to stop these long balls into these pocketed areas in here.
Who's the right player to bring in then?
For me, I'm obviously nowhere near a manager, but for me my substitutions would have been Gomez off, Schneiderlin on, and it would have been Sigurdsson off, Tom Davis on.
So you're almost picking a like for like rather than going...
I'm picking Tom Davis for his ability to press the ball, because what they started to do around this minute, a bit later, it was John Joe Shelby came on, and he was dropping into pocket to try and get on the ball. So Tom would have probably, worked together with Calvert-Lewin to press and keep them in here and prevent that long ball. But now we've gone to a 4, and Calvert-Lewin was on his last legs as well. He needed someone to help him. It just killed us. But that would be my substitution. I thought Gomez towards the end, he was losing individual battles that he would never lose in the beginning of the game, getting shut off the ball.
Well, battles that he wasn't losing because we were on top.
Yeah, yeah.
And everyone looked tired, even, you know, Bernard as well, but he just seems to want to take him off whenever he feels like anyway.
Yeah, there's a couple of players who could have come off, but for me, they're probably the ones that have potential with me, just in terms of us playing, but probably would have gone to a 5-3-2, 2 up, so get Davis next to Calvert-Lewin, and then keep your 3 in here, and if Shelby does come, 1 pops out, and you still have your 2 protecting these back 3, or back 5. So, exactly what's happened now. So now we've got Bernard, we've got Guy, we've got Sigurdsson now here with Lewin. So you remember at the beginning of the game, we had these 2 pressing, all these 4, obviously with, who was it, with Richarlison, pressing them really high. What's happened in this first bit? Bernard's actually pressed it about 5 seconds earlier into here, and the ball's gone back. And as it's gone back, Bernard's came from wherever he was over here, and he's dropped back into here. He just played the ball back in. So now Lewin was here and he's came across. Now we can't get to the ball because Bernard's too concerned about screening any passes in here. But that's where he was originally.
Yeah.
So now invites the long ball. Guy is the holding midfield now. He's with Gomez. But what's happened is John Joe Shelby's came on and he's came out of here into this pocket and he's dragged Guy out. And he's done that for one simple reason, to drag him out, to create space in there, behind the midfielders and in front of the defenders. So that's absolutely killed us. So now the ball goes over the top, into this pocket of space that we spoke about before, and now we're outnumbered, because Guy's gone high, Bernard is as well, and now you've only got Gomez in here. This here would probably be taken up by potentially Richarlison, if he would have been on the pitch. But Sigurdsson's out of picture, so now this play is free. Yeah, we highlight him, and now we've got a 1v1 in here now, rather than probably a 2v2 or a 2v1 in here. You've got your back 5. Zuma goes up for the header. Again, we look at Kenny positioning there. He's facing the wrong way again. Goes up for the header. Zuma actually goes up for this header, and as he goes up, he actually sees Gomez and he decides, I'm not going to clear it into here. He actually goes and cushions the ball, into Gomez, because he can see that, you know, if we knock it down, he's going to pick it up, he's going to control, and we're going to get out. But that doesn't happen. So you get the back 5, you've got Perez in here running off, and they're obviously now getting a lot more bodies forward in these central areas. But again, it's that ball over the top into these areas that, you know, we've got that back 5. Okay, we've won the header, but now who's going to win the second ball? Yeah. You'd probably say £100, you're probably going to put it on Gomez, because he's 5, 6, 7 yards in front of, I think that's Kennedy, in that area. But he doesn't win the ball. He lets it get stole off him. And then from that, the ball goes inside for the shot. And that's where the problems now occur. And it's a position where Garner Gay would have probably have been if these two would have sat in the area. Sigurdsson again can't recover. That's potentially his player. Richarlison's on the pitch, maybe a different story, don't know. But again, it's all came from the formation change. It's killed us. So now you've got your back 5, yeah, you're protecting space, but the shot's going to come in here from now. Keane, I've highlighted in pink, he actually plays Perez onside by about a yard. Yeah. If he's on line with Zuma, in here, the goal doesn't stand. Because Dini actually thinks that it's offside when it's hit, but it's not, because Keane plays on. And then, what was Pickford doing with that shot? What was he doing with it?
Hollywood saves again, isn't it? I mean,
what was he doing? Just parry it anywhere you want, just not in the middle of the goal. And you drop the ball into here.
It's simple goalkeeping, isn't it? It's simple stuff that it's his bread and butter any of the time. If he's not playing up to the crowd, then it's happy days. You know, that ball's cleared. Or it's probably one of those shots where it's parried and it's down, or it's parried away, as you said, away from goal. At least, you know,
to be fair, it has moved and whatever, but I think he's got enough time to even see it coming through, because it's from distance. Yeah. And for me, he just has to parry it to the side, either here or here. But instead, he palms it right into the 6-yard box, and then that's the equaliser.
Punished.
2-2. Game on, and now Everton have obviously collapsed, and that's what's happened. Yeah. No, from there we're never going to come back. I don't think in terms of going back to scoring because Richarlison's came off. We've lost our shape and heads have gone as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it for the 2-2.
But then we get to 3-2 and then it's these silly refereeing decisions that are costing us.
Yeah,
you know,
I didn't even bother analysing that.
I know we need another thing, we need another video with that one, to be honest with you. But again, Lee Mason once again is just the quality of refereeing within the Premier League is baffling. You know, Marco Silva's even had this disciplinary by the FA for confronting the referee. But where's the flip side of it, where someone's having to go to the referee for saying, you fucked up, you've cost the team 3 points, or a point in this case. You know, 5 players offside, and that's what Silva's got up. That's where his hand is against the. I think it was he pushed up against the line, like that, to say, you know, you 5 players offside, and you've missed all of them. It's like, what the fuck?
And this is where VAR's going to come in next season, but again, even VAR gets it wrong, doesn't it? But it's going to slow the game down next year. I think VAR really
Well, VAR is all it's going to do. Is just going to give the referee a second look, and a third look, and a fourth look, and that's what it is. It should be, if the referee's not decided the first time he's gone to VAR, if he's got a maximum of 2 watches, I think, for the time. I mean, was it last night, Real? Was it the other night where it was just taking forever to make a decision, and it was like, come on, what's the decision? Hurry up, and that's what that's right. And it's the same with the World Cup. It's the decision seems to take forever, but what I think what they've also got to do is give clarity on what the decision was. Because I think we were in the cup, Carabao Cup, and it was coming up on the screens around the side of the ground saying referee's VAR decision. I was like, what for? For a goal, for an offside, for a red card? There was no actual description of what the referee was actually wanting to see. And it's got to get tighter. It will. But I think it's got to get worse before it gets better.
I think the decisions are massive though, like not mainly for us, but in terms of now, the position that you're at in the league, you've got, what, is it 10 games to go, something like that, whatever it is. You know, the relegation teams, if this happens to these like 2 or 3 times a season and cost them 4 points or 5 points, that's the difference between going down and staying up. It's massive.
It's as simple as that, isn't it?
In this game, it's not massive for us because what we're going to do, go for place or 2, whatever, but you know, over the course of a season, there's been some, you know, horrendous decisions, and for that one there, it's not even like a little bit offside. It's like this with the whole squad, or the whole 11 players are offside, and it's not been given. It's very, very poor. And you think, you know, the officials, how good they are, how much they've trained, you'd think you'd spot at least 2 players offside out of the 5.
At least, But I think with that, I think even with VAR, that picks up on Pickford's potential red card. As well. I know it's the double jeopardy thing as well.
Well, they say double jeopardy, don't they? That it couldn't have been, but
But then does that then become a decision of, okay, I'm either going to give you the penalty or I'm going to send the player off? You know, it's like, well, it's one or the other. If you know, flip a coin and you're having one of them. You know, you can't have both. But it's just such a fucking frustration, you know. But even with the 3rd goal and the 5 offside, we should not have even been in that position where we're scrapping in the last 10 minutes, where they've got an equaliser for silly mistakes, because we were in control for 60-70 minutes of the game. We were in control.
You just couldn't cope with their long balls, and you know, they threw more and more numbers forward. And the problem is with that is, you've only got one up top. It makes it so difficult to get out, and that was our problem. We couldn't get up to Calvert-Lewin and play out. So the whole dimension of the game changed, and our intensity of the pressing, you know, you look at the stats, it dropped off massively from the first half, and for whatever reason that was, whether it was tactics or whether it was, you know, tiredness, I think it was probably a bit of both.
So there's been a lot of question marks over Marco Silva for probably most of the season anyway. You know, we all seem to be back on the bandwagon. It was like, alright, it's not so bad after the derby, and then I think every Evertonian knew that once they scored, that was it. Heads were gone, and you know, we're back to square one with Everton. Where do you go from here, though? Do you know? Do you obviously? You know, 10 games to go. There's absolutely pointless sacking anyone now. We're safe. But then, do you persevere? do you say, okay, well look at the 60-70 minutes that we've had there, where, hang on, this team is capable of doing something. Look at the derby, this team is capable of doing something. Holding, you know, the top 1-2 teams in the league to a draw at Goodison, excellent. But then capitulating as simple as we did.
Yeah. I think you look at the players you've got on the pitch now, you've said it for ages now, they're lacking a real leader. I think that's a massive flaw in our team at the moment, is that, you know, if you have a leader in this game and it goes to 2-1, you probably hold out. You definitely don't lose the games 3-2. There's no organiser. I think there's a lack of pace across the pitch in terms of how he wants to play. You know, you look at in the first 60 minutes we were pressing really aggressively, the likes of Sigurdsson and stuff. I think once it gets past that stage, you sort of, is the fitness levels, I don't know, can we get around the pitch? Our intensity drops. Now for us to be a top class team, we need players who can do that for the full 90 minutes.
Yeah.
The likes of the City do, the likes of Tottenham do. Even Wolves sometimes to an extent, though, they played Chelsea away and absolutely maxed them and bossed them for, you know, 89 minutes until they scored. And I questioned Silva massively after the Wolves game in terms of, was he the right man, because Wolves bossed us and we had no identity what we wanted to do. We've seen what Silva can do against Liverpool. We stopped them from playing, we stopped from scoring. I think they're only the third team to do that. You've seen against Chelsea away, had a plan as well. But I think it sometimes is in-game management which lets them down. Most notably the Spurs game. How we went and done that, decisions were wrong. Obviously Spurs came and they scored 6 goals, but that was again down to a mistake by Pickford. But then your game management in terms of, okay, what do you go and do now? I think the way that we played the moment, look at the Liverpool game and you look at the Chelsea game, we sort of haven't pressed because them teams played through the thirds. So we've sat off and then pressed at right times and we've got results. The games where we have to go and play through teams, so the likes of Leicester at home, West Ham, Huddersfield, Wolves, we haven't got the players to do. We haven't got enough guile, we haven't got enough speed, we haven't got enough creativity, I don't think, across the pitch. But the sort of the Liverpool game and Chelsea game suited us because, one, they're probably not going to play long balls, and if they do, it's be now and again.
Yeah.
So you can stop them playing through. But this game, you've sort of gone with the same approach, but Newcastle have gone, well, I'm not bothered, you're going to stop me from playing through, I'm going to play over you. And it's just that adaptation and that in-game management. Like the Richarlison substitution for me, it cost us the game.
Yeah.
So he's a young manager, but does he need time? The thing is, I think you've probably got to give it, because you look on paper and you're thinking, okay, if he goes now, who are you going to go and get?
Yeah.
There's no one. There's very few people you can go and get, especially with, you know, Premier League experience. You can say, I'll get some from Italy or from Spain, but the Premier League is a totally different kettle of fish. Even Pep Guardiola had to adapt when he came in terms of the amount of games that you play within weeks and what the Premier League's like, and you know, it took him a while. He's got the best players in the world. So it's frustrating, but I think he needs, Marcel Brands knows what he wants, and I think through the summer I think you'll see a lot of outs and probably a lot of incumbents as well. We will probably build a team around the likes of, you know, Digne, Gomez if we sign them, Richarlison, and work from there, I'm guessing.
Sounds good. So that takes us on to Chelsea. There are no easy games for the remainder of this season.
You've seen it, the run-ups are ridiculous, isn't it?
Oh, it's daft. And what?
It's like the role reversal of when Kuhn was in charge, wasn't it? It's like
literally got all the London clubs coming up.
Yeah.
So you've got like Chelsea, you've got West Ham, Palace, Fulham, Tottenham.
But United are home.
And United are home.
Yeah. The home games are tough.
And every game's tough at the minute, the way we're playing.
Because even playing Fulham away, aren't we, as well?
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough game. Scott Parker's in there now, they're going to be battling, they need to win games. So.
Yeah. Scott Parker hates us.
Does he?
Fucking World War II haircut.
But Chelsea the weekend, I think against one of them, isn't it? We're going to let them come on to us and we'll try and soak up the press and hit them on the break, we're going to do. But it's going to be Hazard again, you know. How do you stop Hazard from playing? He's a top player.
Yeah.
So
we'll be able to Zuma at the weekend as well. Would you revert back to Jagielka or Mina? I mean, you can always see you almost see what he was doing there, bringing Mina on to give him minutes, because obviously he's been out for a few weeks before potentially this Chelsea game.
Yeah, true, yeah.
Or does he go...
Well, Mina played against Chelsea last time, didn't
Yeah, he played really well. Yeah.
Played top draw, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then didn't play the following game, nothing, did he?
No.
So he had his best game against Chelsea potentially.
Yeah.
So you know, you could bring him in, but then again, it's, you know, who else plays? Does he stick Schneiderlin in? Does he keep Gomez in?
There's a lot of decisions he's got to make now, because I even think with Schneiderlin is, does he want him next season?
Yeah.
You know, is he using him just as a bit part player now, just to keep Gomez fit?
Yeah.
To allow Gomez to maybe give 65-70 minutes, bring him off, you know, and just keep him fresh each week. Who knows?
Yeah.
Callum, as always, mate, fucking amazing. It's just so bloody frustrating, because this should have all been avoided.
And that's the thing that we've lacked all season, is consistency. To get on that high, draw with Chelsea, fantastic. Next week, go and get beat, and that's been our problem all season. Is why are we so inconsistent? And it's down to silly errors. It's down to in-game management, and it's probably mostly down to, I think, a lack of leadership on the pitch as well.
So, a new captain, new leaders needed. Just, I think all over the pitch, I just think it's something we need to change everything.
Yeah.
And it's almost like back to square one.
It is a building process, and you know, we've got a lot of stuff to do, but I'm certain, you know, Marcel Brands will be marking players that he can bring in and wants to bring in, and he'll push really, really hard to go and get them, I think.
Sounds okay. So we'll talk after the Chelsea game. I'm sure you'll have plenty more stats for us. If people want to catch up with you or ask you about any of these, we'll be putting them on the videos we go along as well. But if people want to chat to you about it on Twitter, how can you reach you?
Is it Wyatt_C10, isn't it?
It's your Twitter account.
That's it, like 10 times. Yeah, Wyatt_C10. But yeah, I'll put it together, and hopefully it makes sense. It's a lot of arrows and stuff, but hopefully we've broken it down and explained why this happened and the fundamentals for us obviously losing the game. So.
It'll make it a bit easier for you next week, because we'll have the big screen, you can have a laser pointer, you can do whatever you want, you can do all sorts of PowerPoint presentations for it. Don't forget, on the 22nd we've got the Evening with Kevin Campbell over in the KB Social Club. I'll put the details below, and that's about it at the moment, mate.
You got that one,
yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Hopefully Kevin and
Kev.
I'll have a sit down with us and Saul Allen as well. But you're mates with Alan Myers, aren't you?
I would say Nick later.
Nice, he's good. Yeah, we'll hopefully have a good chat with them. We'll have a really good night. But if you still want tickets, the details will be on there. We'll put it on the Falcon Blues 1878 account, as well as our Falcon Blues TV channel, Twitter account. But until then, we'll catch us after the Chelsea game. Up the fucking toffees.